Right then, guys, let's talk about how the average person in the world has a very boring life and they have no idea how to fix it. They have no idea what they're doing. A lot of people just assume it's money. A lot of people go, okay, it'll be fine. When I make more money, I'll have a better life. When I make more money, it'll be fine. I'll just put all this right. I'll correct everything. I'll put things back to normal. Guys, it's not true because I live in an area here in Canary Wharf in London that is surrounded by rich people. And they do nothing all day. Do you know what rich people do? They do the same things that poor people are doing. They do them in nicer areas with better clothes on and a nicer pram. That's it. All I see is these rich people walking around with a pram, the little kids in the pram, one on the arm, one walking alongside them. They've got a nice coat on, some nice shoes, and they're bored shitless. They're doing the same thing anybody else is doing. The average person's life sucks. Rich people, poor people, nobody knows what they're doing. I told you guys before, life setup, framing, all of this shit is a skill. It's a skill that not many people have. Not many people know how to live a fulfilling and exciting life where they can get out into the world and do cool shit. I mean, I'll give you an example. How many times at school did you have somebody who was like the popular kid in school, and he was the popular kid because he hosted all the parties? Like, he just had the connections. Like, if you wanted girls to a house party, you asked him. And he was able to get like 20, 30 girls to that party. And he would organize it all. He would have the time of his life. And everyone would just be like, how's he always having fun? How does he know everybody? There's always somebody like that that just gets it. They just understand how life works. Rich people, poor people, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can kind of pay for better experiences. But it just doesn't correlate. There is no distinction. Like some of the richest people I know, and they'll just be sat in a manor house doing nothing all day, walking around their land, just kind of going, what now? What happens after this? What's the next part of life? And that's why they get so, like, how many rich people do you see get caught up in things like pedophilia, get caught up in like some really weird shit, like all these successful people, because they're bored. They're so bored. They go and buy a private island or a yacht or a jet and they just go, what now? Like, they don't know how to actually live. They're just constantly chasing the next most expensive buzz. That's why you got all these rich people that are like, oh, we're going to have a space race. The first one to get to space wins. They're bored shitless. They don't actually know how to enjoy themselves. None of them actually have that life skill. It's something that it takes years and years of practice to figure out how to set your life up in a certain way, how to frame yourself in a certain way, to have the best possible experiences. Nobody knows how to do it. The average person's life, like I said, is so fucking boring. They do nothing. They do absolutely nothing all day. Just walk around, grab a coffee, go for a run, walk the dog, and then they go to a job on a Monday that pays them loads of money. Or they have a business that pays them loads of money. But in reality, they're like, I'm kind of bored. I don't really know what I'm doing. They're just as lost as a broke person. They're just kind of floating through life, not knowing what's next. And it's because they don't have things around them. They don't have the right life setup. They don't know they don't have map knowledge. And I know I've used that a lot recently, but they don't have the map knowledge. They don't understand how the world works in terms of, you know, where do you go this time of year? What do you do this time of year? Where's a nice place to go? How do you spend your money properly? Instead of just buying expensive shit, what do you actually spend it on? How do you network and socialize with high-level individuals that you can hang around with? How do you make that happen? It's a skill. It's a skill that you learn over time. But the average person does not know how to use it. And they think, and I see guys do this all the time, especially online, they think they're going to make loads of money, they're going to buy the nice car, and then all of a sudden their life's going to be amazing. And it gets a little bit better for a few weeks, few months maybe, and then after that they're just back to normality. They just don't know what to do next. They're still bored shitless. Most people go and drown themselves in Dubai. They just, you know, endless amount of escorts, drugs, parties, and they're just like, we're living. A few pictures with the cigar and a silk shirt, and then they're just back to square one again, where they're like, kind of bored, like, I don't really know what to do, like, what's the next thing, where's the next buzz? And it's just like, yeah, it's not going to work. You actually have no idea how to do this shit properly. You have no idea how to have an actual fulfilling life, and have diversity, and find so many different things to do, and work on different things, and, I mean, just, like, I'm doing language lessons tomorrow. I'm recording these videos for you guys today. I've got a school call with the boys tonight. I'm then going to Porto. I'm then going to Granada. I'm then going to Crete. Then I'm going to go and view houses somewhere in Europe for one in my second location. I'll then probably, you know, get a new car or something like that. Like there's always nice stuff going on, and I'm getting the new car so I can drive around Europe and go to all these amazing places that I spoke about in Born on a Budget. And it's not going to cost me a crazy amount of money. You know, the house that we're buying, we're looking at putting it in a certain location that is close to about 5 major hubs. And then it gives us events for the whole year, things we can look forward to, kind of like almost like the billionaire calendar, the way we can connect it to what we're doing. You know, and it just ties things together. It's like the Barcelona VIP seats. Like what a weapon to have in your life. What a bonus. The fact that you can just fly to Barcelona, watch a game, spend a day there, spend a weekend there and fly back and just be like, okay, back to work on Monday. Like that's an experience that you can have with 3 of your friends. Like that is just unbelievable. And it's just people don't actually know how to do it. They don't know which restaurants to go to. They just go to the most expensive one, the biggest name. They don't know how to dress. They just wear the most expensive brands. Or, you know, if it's 10K instead of 8, then it must be better. Like people don't actually know how to spend the money, how to live. And that is why the average person is bored out of their mind. I mean, there's sons and daughters of multi-millionaires that live in this building. I just see them every day looking tired in their pajamas because they've been up all night watching Netflix. They've only just woken up and they're like that. They walk downstairs and they go, and I hold the door open for them and they're like, oh, thanks. They're just out of their mind all the time. They're just lost in life. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to spend it. They're being told by somebody else how to live. In order to get that level of skill to know how to live, you need the map knowledge. You need to be able to travel the world. You need to be able to get a little bit more cultured, know a few languages. Marathon mindset, push the boat out, do all these things that I talk about. It's proactive. It's beyond theory. It's not just sat behind a computer screen thinking, oh, at least I got more money than last month. At least my figures have gone up by, you know, there's an extra 0 at the end of my... Great, but do you know what you're doing with it? Do you actually know how to use it properly? Do you know how to set your life up in a certain way? Do you actually know how to, you know, which house to buy? You know, I've just bought a house in London with a roof terrace and you're like, yeah, you're probably not going to use it for 9 months of the year because it will be too cold and wet and windy. Ah, okay, yeah, good point. And it's like, you could have saved half your money, gone and got one in somewhere like Mallorca and just gone, okay, that's my base. You know, I'm going to just jump out to Marbella every now and then or Mallorca or whatnot and just go and have a little base that you go out to and have a bit of fun at. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just knowing where to have certain features. Like, if you were going to have a house in the UK, you'd probably be better off having like a cottage in the Cotswolds that you can balance between like a rented place in London and then you can have the life setup, the vice versa. People don't know this stuff. Because in the cottage, you can have a fire, you can be chopping the wood, you can actually do some proper manual labor on the farm and stuff. And like that keeps life fun. That's why, like, I don't think I could live somewhere like a Dubai because there's no seasons, or in LA. There's no seasons. It's just warm all the time. Whereas having like cold, autumn, spring, winter, like mixing it up, I think that's good. You know, different things work at different times. Like, you know, you might go to Italy in the summer and get a Jaguar E-Type and drive around the Amalfi Coast. Amazing. And then in the winter, you might be in Budapest in like a blacked out 110 Defender or G-Wagon and you're driving around just thinking, this fits perfectly. Like you've got the big fur coat on, the coffee in hands, the beautiful woman. Like it's just stacking. People don't know how to stack. They don't have a vision. They don't believe. They don't dream. They don't want to paint a picture and become a hyper-masculine character and become somebody that they want to become. They don't have that vision. They don't understand how that shit works. They just think, okay, I make more money and then I just buy more stuff and I should be happier. And it's like, doesn't work like that. None of them have any knowledge. I could take somebody right now who's a billionaire and I reckon make their life better on a 50th of the budget. If you give me like £1 million compared to maybe they're spending like 50 million a year, I can make their life way better. Way better. Like I know so many rich guys that like pay for women and it's like, just, there's so many ways to get around that. What you do, and you could have so many more fulfilling experiences. Like the amount of strangers you can meet, places you can go. Like I try and get lost when I go abroad. I go to different places and I'm like, let's try and get lost. I have no idea where I am. Let's do this. I always know where I am. I somehow always know my way back, but I try and get lost. I try and talk to people, meet people, try new experiences. Fuck it, we've never done that before. Or I'm just like, do you want to jump in the car and drive to Madrid? Yeah, let's go. It's like, what we're going to do? I'm like, I don't know yet. I don't know. See if there's a game on. Let's just see what happens. Like, that's life setup. That's framing. That's knowing, like, I'm talking about this in a future video, but having that map knowledge, just knowing what restaurants to go to, like, you know, knowing a little bit of the language. It's a game changer, guys. But People just stack their life with money. They think money is the singular component. Money is just a catalyst for everything else. It's all the other skills that you gain because of it. It's the network you put around you. It's the people you put around you. The way that they want to do similar things to what you want to do. That's the game changer. You guys, by the time this video comes out, I would have already done these 2 trips. So I'll tell you, because you wouldn't see it until then. We would have left already, which is good life setup again, because you're not going to get robbed. But have a look at Porto. Have a look at Crete. Especially have a look at Porto. There's going to be 20 of us guys in a massive hillside complex with pool, tennis, rooftop bar, a lift going up to the rooftop. The amount of shit we get up to in that vlog, go and watch it, I promise you. And you'll look and you'll go, okay, him and those guys, they know something that I don't know about life.